What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your retro review of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 3, Episode 2. So listen, I know that y'all have been waiting for me to get to this season because y'all have been waiting for me to get to the Teresa Melissa drama. But let me tell you something. I'm on Episode 2 and I'm over it and I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Because this reminds me of what I'm dealing with The Real Housewives now, with this whole Teresa Melissa thing, and I'm just sick of it. I'm tired already. Because Melissa is even more obnoxious in this season than she is now. And Teresa is Teresa. I don't know. Anyway, let's just get into it. Child, it's Halloween, okay? It's Halloween, and the Manzos and the Judices are celebrating over to Teresa's house. They're, doing the pumpkin thing and, making the jack-o'-lanterns and, all that good stuff. So, of course, the ladies end up talking about what happened at the christening. My girl Dolores is there. Shout out to Dolores. Y'all know that's my favorite. Dolores is my favorite. Even though last season, well, the season before last, not this last season, because last season she was in love and she couldn't be bothered with none of them hoes. But the season before that, Dolores kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but that's still my girl. She's still my favorite, okay? But Dolores is there, and of course, Teresa is telling her version of the story. So while we have that, we have Joe on the inside talking to the fellas, and he's telling from his point of view what happened. And then, of course, we have Joe. See, I'm going to have to just do the last name. I'm sorry. Melissa. What's Melissa and them last name? It's Judice and shoot, I want to say Graziano. Child, that's Mob Wives. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know where Graziano came from. Oh, you know what? Because I was looking at Renee Graziano on TikTok earlier. She went live, child. That's my girl. I love me some Renee. Anyway, back. Focus. Child, so Melissa and Teresa's husband, until it comes, I don't know why, for whatever reason, I'm going blank on their last name. Anyway, they're over Kathy's house and they're recapping what happened. And again, we all saw what happened. Well, I ain't gonna say that because everybody has a different point of view. But in my opinion, Joe, you were drunk. You were in your feelings. And I think that there's a part of you that was trying to make a moment. Teresa came over. Maybe her intentions were not as pure. Maybe you felt like she was extra. She was doing too much for the cameras. Y'all were already mad that she was on the dance floor dancing with y'all baby, acting like she's the perfect auntie when she hasn't been around. I give you that. But you had a little too much to drink, and you were very rude to Teresa, and then you called her garbage. Now, her husband came along and did what any husband would do, and basically was like, bruh, what you call my wife? And then Joe lunged at him. Well, Melissa's husband lunged at Judice, and that's where the whole thing came down. Now, I personally do not feel like Teresa and Joe started this situation. I don't. I really don't. Now, there are going to be times when I'm going to feel like Teresa doing too much. But in this moment, I ain't putting this one on Teresa. I'm not. So, Melissa and them are waiting for Teresa to call and apologize or address it or whatever. And Teresa is like, what I need to call them for? I didn't do nothing. All I did was show up, and all I did was try to congratulate them, and it turned into a whole situation. I didn't do nothing wrong. Now, Kathy, to their credit, Kathy and her husband, in a nice way, are trying to let them know, y'all kind of did too much. Like, y'all was doing a lot. And Carolyn and them were like, look, just fix it. Like, that's your brother, that's family. Y'all know Carolyn's line is going to always be, but it's family. But that's family. Well, it's family. That's family. And Melissa was like, well, when we were at her christening, they didn't even acknowledge us. They didn't even speak to us. We knew our place. So why didn't she know her place at our christening? Like, she should have just sat in the corner like we sat in the corner and not say nothing. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're really dealing with here. That's what we're really dealing with here. Y'all are on the show now, and y'all want to put Teresa in her place. And y'all ain't understand that Teresa's the star. There's nothing to put in a place because Teresa's the star. Anyway. But we found out that the fashion show was coming up down to Posh, okay? And let me tell y'all something. I'm sick of Kim D and Kim G already too. I don't understand what Kim G got. Kim G. Now Kim G mad at Teresa because she said Teresa called her old. Girl, Teresa and Jacqueline are walking in the show, and of course, the fashion show was at the Brownstone. And this year, Carolyn is gonna go because her daughter is a makeup artist, and she's gonna be doing people's makeup. So she's like, "Well, it's at the Brownstone. My daughter is gonna be working. I got to be there to show support, so I'm going. Whether I want to or not, child, I'll be at the Brownstone." And Melissa's gonna be there because, of course, why wouldn't Melissa be there, right? So they're like, "Well, Teresa, what are you gonna do when you see Melissa?" And Teresa was like, "I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna speak." Like, she was like, I'm gonna say hi. You know, because again, in Teresa's mind, they need to be talking to me. I don't need to extend myself to them because I didn't do nothing to them. So, um, so then we have a scene, like I said, with Carolyn and her daughter. Her daughter's setting up a booth down to the chateau where they all get their hair done. She does freelance makeup now, but that's gonna be like her station. And so they're just talking about how she's, getting it together. And of course, we had the flashback to when she didn't know what she wanted to do with her life and how, she's a makeup artist and she's really, doing it now. Her and her boyfriend are still together, so they're kind of talking a little bit about that. Um, of course, we had to talk about Chris and Albie moving out again, child. Okay, they moving out. Okay. So Kathy and Melissa go down to Posh, and that's when they were talking about the fashion show. Kim G shows up, and she's like shading the hell out of Teresa. Oh my gosh, Teresa this and Teresa that. And to Melissa's credit, Melissa was like kind of looking at Kim G a little bit like, okay, girl, like I don't know you, I've heard of you, but why you like? I don't know what you want me to do with this. Like, you want me to join in? You want me to shade Teresa with you? Like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing with this information. Um, but again, because Kim G she is thirsty. Like, she is really trying to get on this show. What do they hold on at Housewives? Do they hold an orange? I don't know what they hold. But she is just really trying to get her little 2 cents. Like, she's just really trying to be on the show. So Kim D invites Melissa to walk in the fashion show. Of course she does, right? Of course she's inviting Melissa to walk in the fashion show at this point. Um, so you got Kim G throwing shade. You got Kim D being messy, and Melissa is eating it up, right? She's eating the whole thing up. So it's Halloween. We see the Gorgas. That's it, Gorgas. We see the Gorgas taking the kids trick or treating, and then they're going out partying. Right after they take the kids trick or treating, then they're going out and having some adult fun. Can't be mad about that. But Joe dresses up like a woman child. Melissa dresses up like the cat woman in a black bodysuit. Now, while this is going on, Teresa is over at her house with the kids having a Halloween party for the neighborhood kids at her house, right? That's what they're doing over there. Gia is at that age now where everything Teresa does is embarrassing. So her parents. Last episode, she was embarrassed by her father walking around without a shirt on, which I can kind of understand that. This episode, she's embarrassed by her mother walking around in her Halloween costume because she's calling herself Super T, as in Super Teresa, because she's saving the family. Girl, whatever your delusion works for. Okay. So, guess who ended up going out to the club with Melissa and Joe and Gorga? Kim G. Girl, girl, Kim G. Girl, at the club. Hmm. Anyway, um, So then we see Teresa and Jacqueline getting ready for the fashion show. They kind of pre-gaming a little bit. Jacqueline is just over it. She's nervous and she really don't want to walk. She's having some second thoughts. And Teresa's like, girl, you will be okay. It's going to be cool. It's going to be okay. And that's when Teresa finds out that Melissa is going to actually be walking in the show. And Teresa, you can always tell when Teresa is over something because she does this fake smile thing. She's like, oh, she is? Like, and you know that she absolutely does not mean it. But she's in her mind like, okay, like, I'm okay. Um, and once again, they have to talk about what's going to happen now. And Teresa's answer don't change. Like, I mean, I'm going to see her. I'm going to say hi. Like, I don't have nothing. Like, because again, I ain't do nothing to her. That's on her. That's how she feel about me. I didn't do nothing to her. So while Teresa and Jacqueline are having this conversation about what what Melissa what Melissa has to do, Melissa and Kathy are getting their hair done and they're having a conversation about what they feel like Teresa has to do. And Melissa is like, Teresa owes me an apology. She ruined this isn't about us. She ruined my kid's day. And again, I just don't understand how you feel like she ruined the day. But child, whatever. I ain't going back down that road. So we get to the brownstone. Albert, once again, is in charge because Christopher has quit. And so it's funny because it's like Carolyn is acting like nobody else can do this job. Like, so Albert he can't reduce his hours because now he has to take over where Christopher left off. I'm like, you can hire somebody to do that. Like, Albert can still retire or work less. He just got to find somebody competent to do the damn job. Like, Christopher ain't the only person in the world that can run the daggone business, right? Anyway. So we're there, and the ladies are showing up, and they're getting their hair and makeup done in the back. Melissa and Kathy are there first. So when Teresa and Jacqueline and them get there, Teresa speaks. She speaks to Kathy. She speaks to Melissa. Carolyn is back there speaking. Jacqueline. Everybody's doing their thing. So to Teresa's credit, she did speak. Now, she ain't addressed the elephant in the room. She didn't say nothing about the christening, but she did speak to the people, right? So they get their makeup done, and then they have to go out front. Not have to, but they're going out front to eat, and then they're going to have the fashion show. So while they're there, it was funny because you know how sometimes you can say something, you offend people you don't mean to offend. So Teresa kept talking about how old Kim G was and why, because Kim G was over there with Melissa, and she was like, why is she, and she will not call her Melissa. She just says, my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law. She was like, why is Kim G over there with my sister-in-law? Why is Kim G talking to my sister-in-law? I don't understand. Like, isn't she like 20 years older than her? Like, why is she hanging? She's too old to be hanging out with her. And baby, Caroline was like, she was like, hold up. Pump your brakes. Kim G only like 3 years older than me. Pump your brakes. Like, I'm going to need you to chill out. Like, she's like, I'm 49. I'll be 50 this year. Kim G is like in her early 50s, which she does look older than that, but okay. Baby, Teresa went back down off that thing. Teresa was like, okay, whatever, I said what I said. Child, so they had a fashion show. They don't speak to each other backstage, whatever, child. And then when they packing up, getting ready to go, baby, why Melissa didn't even know her mom-in-law was there? She see Teresa and the mother-in-law taking pictures at the end. And she was like, oh, I didn't even know you were here. Teresa was like, how you ain't know she was here? Yeah, you so busy worried about what Teresa doing, you didn't even realize your own mother-in-law was in the house. How you ain't know she was there? So Kathy comes up to Teresa and is like, can I talk to you, girl? So Teresa's like, yeah, what's up? So Kathy gonna say, so Teresa, how are you feeling? How are you? Teresa was like, I'm fine. She was like, well, after everything that happened, at the christening, I'm just wondering, have you talked to Melissa? Teresa was like, did you talk to Melissa about what happened at the christening? Did you ask Melissa if they talked to me? Like, why are you coming at me? Like, did you have something to say to Melissa? Because Melissa, there was some issues. So did you say something to Melissa? And she was like, well, no, I'm just saying, Teresa, the kids, who was, I had Adriana. Did you even know where Adriana was? And that's what set Teresa off. Teresa was like, what you're not gonna do is sit here and act like my child was neglected or act like I wasn't controlling like you. That's what you're not gonna do. She was like, you did not have my daughter. Kathy was like, I did have your daughter. Like when all that was going on, I did have her with me while y'all were over there doing whatever it was y'all were doing. So Teresa goes over to her mother and like, Ma, who was watching Adriana? Who had Adriana? And then the mother gets upset because she's yelling at Kathy, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you causing problems? Like, you supposed to be family. Why are you doing this? Now, they did show us a clip of Kathy with Adriana. Now, we don't know when Kathy was with Adriana, but there was a clip of Kathy with Adriana. Now, I'm going to leave it at that. But that's when Teresa gets upset. And I understand because what you're trying to put out there, Kathy, is that Teresa was so caught up in this argument with her brother that her child, her infant, was left unattended and you just had to step in, or God forbid what would have happened to the baby. And I could understand why that upset Teresa. So Teresa, baby, she cussed Kathy out, told her we are done. She said, we are done. And baby, she left. And that was the end of that. And Carolyn was mad because she was like, listen, if y'all want to tear each other's throats out, do it in your house. Don't do it here. This is my place of establishment. Y'all are family. Y'all need to fix this. Or what y'all not going to do is tear my place up. She said this was a nice event. We not going to mess it up. We not going to end on a bad note. So y'all need to go on up out of here with that. And I'm going to be honest. I feel like I'm starting to see, and don't tell me in the comments. Just don't tell me. But I feel like I'm starting to see where there may be some cracks in Teresa's relationship with Carolyn, because, you know, she made a comment earlier in the episode about Carolyn minding her business and don't tell me how to handle my family. I'm the matriarch of my family. I know what I'm doing over here. I don't need your help. And then the way Carolyn sort of acted at the end of this episode where she was like, y'all are family. Y'all need to fix it. Y'all need to fix it. And I feel like Teresa just wasn't trying to hear that. I feel like she wasn't trying to hear that. So anyway, that was the episode, child. Let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.